Just fine.
Exhaust?
All right, well, whoa. One runner immediately at a disadvantage. If I get a little quieter just up here at the front, that's it. All right, once again, welcome everyone back to AGDQ 2014. Members, over 400 members of Speed Demos Archive and Speedruns Live have come together to bring you Awesome Games 2000, Awesome Games Done Quick 2014. We're here to raise money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. We're looking out to do just what they say they will, prevent cancer. We want to thank you guys so far for raising over $630,000, and we have saved some of the best for last. Coming up, we have got a first in GDQ. Well, no, this is a second. I'm making stuff up. But this is going to be really good, don't worry. We have got a four-way race of four of the best Super Metroid runners, four of the best speedrunners in the entire world, here to race Super Metroid for you. Now, real quick, I'm going to read through a few donations as they're setting up. We have a $134 donation from FamilyPCGames.com. Thanks to Faith, Prayer, and Medical Care, our Prayer Warriors developer overcame the clutches of colon cancer. FamilyPCGames.com is donating $134 to this awesome charity. Keep up the good work, guys. I've got a $25 donation from Rook the Hammer. I'm amazed by everyone's generosity, and even though this is my third donation, I do wish I could donate more. I mean, you've raised over $50,000 just getting people to decide the fate of the animals, and here's another $25 to saving them. I've got a $50 donation from Neon Reaper. Save the animals so some other animals can eat them. It's the circle of life, and it moves us all. Thank you, Neon. I've got a $50 donation from Hematapophilia. Greetings from Quebec, Canada. We Quebecers live in a hostile environment. Polar bears, wolves, cougars, lynxes, you name it. It is therefore a necessity to remind the quadrupeds who's boss here on Earth. Make the right choice. Kill the animals. Also, cancer is bad.
Super Mario hand can has been met. What do you want to change your reader's choice to?
Change it to kill the
Kill. Everyone's going for kill.
This is unbelievable how much extra space we have in the stream room this year, and it is standing room only. This is truly an exciting moment. People are sitting in laps out here. What are we doing? Another reason to get super excited about this race is that for the first time we are trying some real, I guess you'd say professional commentary. We'll have the man with the golden voice, golden, oddly enough, and the blind punch-out man himself, Sinister One, ready to give you some of the best commentary you've ever heard. I hope. I'm building you up. You better pull it off for me. We'll see. The pressure's on. It's been a long week, guys. We are all very sleep deprived, but I see no sleep deprived people in here. I see a bunch of excited faces. Twig's happy. Twig's down. Look at that smile. That's the face of HEDQ right now. Oh, water. Thank you so much, Hannah. All right. I also want to first inform you guys that due to there being 4 runners in the race and Golden and Sinister One doing all they can to give you the greatest commentary, I unfortunately will not be able to read your donations as much as I would love to. You guys are really sending in so many, and so many of them are so heartfelt about obviously in whatever way your life has been touched by cancer. And just saying really, really nice things about the runners. I think we can all very much thank you for that. I will be giving you updates on Save Kill the Animals, because I'm sure that's very important to all of you, judging by the fact that you've raised nearly $60,000 for it. Again, we thank you for that. Other than that, I hope you all can just sit back and enjoy what you're about to witness.
I think you could mention something to the guys watching.
Just
Oh, sure. Give special thanks to like Kotaku, Joystick, and Peanut Butter Gamer because they've all
Also want to give a quick shout out to Kotaku, the Joystick, and Peanut Butter Gamer on mentioning the marathon. Want to thank all of you for networking us and for getting the word out there, for making AGDQ 2014 global at this point. It's really been amazing watching this marathon grow every year, and without you guys, it's nowhere near this point, and we thank you for that.
Thanks.
I've got a $50 donation from Eyeball Kid. Shoutouts to Zost, Garrison, Krauser, Ivan, and all the other God gamers who've taken Super Metroid as far as it's come. As always, good luck on the Ghost, fellas. Dear Force! I've got a $50 donation from DSO. Practiced hard just to bring my Super Metroid 100% in-game time under an hour. What you guys do with this game is amazing. Give the animals a quick death. Shoutouts to my bro Shy Guy Express and the Speedruns Live races of this game. You know, I wondered going into AGDQ this year if 100K for save/kill the animals was a thing. And we're coming up on 60,000 and the run hasn't started yet. Just saying. As of right now, though, despite $59,257 donated, the deficit is only $79, killing the lead by. You can sit next to me. I thought it was charming. All right, we're almost done setting up. I've got 2 donations I really want to get through real quick. I have a $500 donation from Carl Mee. Hey everyone, glad to be watching speedrunning put. Yeah. Hey, did someone score? All right. Hey everyone, glad to be watching speedrunning put to such a noble cause. Metroid 2 was my claim to fame, and it's awesome to see so many amazing players doing the impossible live in front of thousands of people. Huge shoutouts to Metroid 2002 for having such an awesome community, SDA for making this possible, and an extra shout out to everyone on IGN watching this right now. By the way, save the animals. For having all 5 2D Metroid games subbed-houred, there's $500 towards the cause. Just as Red Scarlet once told me, go, 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 Carl. I also have a $500 donation from Professor Ness. I am extremely fortunate that of the many people in my life affected by cancer, I can count my parents and closest friends among the survivors. Survival is possible, so here's to doing whatever it takes to stay alive even one more day until better options become available. Thank you. Marco. Why did I start?
Ivan just got the Metroid skip.
Oh, good sign. Good sign.
Okay, so then, wow. I think we might be ready to go.
Uh-huh. I've got a $30 donation from Raccoon. The most intense bid war we have ever had. The animals have raised more money than the entirety of AGDQ 2011. So let's save those animals. Probably just shouldn't have read that last part. Kind of killed me.
Are all four of you ready? Yep. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go, Ivan!
And just like that, we're underway here at HDQ 2014.
We are off and running. So in your upper left-hand corner, we have Garrison. Of course, you guys remember him from last year's AGDQ. He ran this solo. Did a great job. He was the first man to ever get a 30 in this game. Pretty big mile mark.
And wearing the Bioforce Ape shirt today, too, as well. So across from him, we got Krauser, 318. I was proud to have him as a stream viewer for a while, watching me play the game. Now I'm his biggest fan. So right back at him.
Bottom left, of course, is Zost. If you watched SGDQ, he did a great job on the 100% run, and he's currently the world record holder.
And finally, wrapping up our group in the bottom right, we have Ivan, and he is looking to make the collective proud with his performance today. And just like that, Ridley's out of the way, and we'll look to get our first glimpse to see who's going to take the lead here with their escape off a series. Pretty simple stuff here, dodge the steam.
And for those of you that are new to Super Metroid, the goal is basically you're going to collect a bunch of items, fight a bunch of bosses, and get to the end.
All right, so Ivan tripped up a little bit there. Krauser last one out of that room. All about average. I mean, series isn't the be-all, end-all either. It's just your first kind of glimpse to get ahead.
Yeah, this is not the deciding factor. This is a long race, folks. And there's something that you should know about these four players. These are four of the top players in the world, and their personal best times are separated by 45 seconds or less, which is insane because this run is about 45 minutes long.
Yeah, it's unreal to think that, over a year ago, people were saying, well, what if we can get more people to cut the 50 in this game, and we've got people getting under 45 minutes now, which is ridiculous. So it's going to be a good race, guys, and I guess in the next few minutes here, we're just going to give you guys a glimpse into Super Metroid. If you're not familiar with speedrunning, we're going to try to relate some of the tricks to you guys so you can understand what's going on, what you're going to be seeing throughout the run.
And a lot of this game has to do with movement. You have a huge amount of control over Samus, who's the main character there, and the way that you control her is going to determine how fast you move through the areas.
Yeah, so right off the bat, you see him doing what we call arm pumping. So every time they mash L or R there, they're looking up, looking down, they're going to gain 1 pixel of movement. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but over the course of a run, that adds up to several seconds. So anytime they have an opportunity to move like that, they will.
So there'll be a whole lot of subtle time gained and lost through the movement. You'll see also a lot of time gained and lost on bosses and just based on luck itself, which plays a big role in this run.
And nice pit room for everybody there. It looks like everybody's through, no problem. Coming up on the first upgrade here, they're going to get Morph Ball.
It's an important one.
You can say that again, Sinister.
Understatement of the year.
All right, so the Morphing Ball is actually really important for speedrunning because it's going to allow them to do a trick here that we call the Mock Ball. And you're actually going to get a first glimpse of it in this first missile room that they're heading towards. And what a mock ball does is allows them to preserve their moving speed, their running speed, while they're rolling, which is something that you otherwise can't do. Now, that's not only useful because it allows them to move through rooms quickly, but it's also going to let them sequence break and pick up super missiles early in a little bit here.
Yes, allowing them to skip Spore Spawn, but have no fear, you will get to see Spore Spawn tonight.
Yeah, you guys did donate, so there will be a Spore Spawn RTA race following any percent. You will get to see that Spore Spawn is indeed in this game. We're not lying to you. But that's coming up to follow the any percent race at hand here.
All right, and this is the first really skill-intensive part of the run, the climb, as these guys are leaving out of here. So let's see how we do.
Yep, so we're going to be looking for wall jumps here. They've got them all timed. They know how many they have to do in a row. And the thing to note here is just look at how clean they move here. So Ivan a little bit of a hiccup at first, but he's making up for it.
Yeah, the normal way up that room is just take those platforms, but these guys can wall jump so fast they don't need the platforms.
Beautiful movement there from Garrison. He's first into the parlor. Now, one thing that I like about Super Metroid speedrunning is just the creativity these guys have when it comes to naming things, because they need to be able to talk about the run and room strategies. So they've actually come up with names for all the rooms in the game. And there's some pretty bizarre ones. We'll kind of mention a few of them as we go throughout.
Yeah, really good names in this.
All right, approaching the first boss here. We're going to be fighting the bomb torso. Key here, missile luck. We want to look for how many missiles are dropped. You need at least 7 to get that one cycle, so we're going to see how many of them drop here.
So our first little bit of RNG in the run, and there's plenty more to come. Let's see how we do.
Ivan hit the jackpot, or Zos, excuse me, hit the jackpot. That's Zos on the left there. So he is through. Ivan with good luck as well.
All right, and everybody's cleared it. So you guys will notice there's not going to be a whole lot of separation early on in this run because these guys are all of such high skill level. They're going to do the first sequence break in the run shortly here in order to pick up the super missile upgrade, which will allow them to access other areas of the game that they wouldn't normally be able to, and deal extra damage to bosses as well.
That is correct. And again, just want to throw out some more room names because I think they're pretty cool. We got the Terminator room here.
Yeah, gotta love that one.
I like that name. Just had to mention it. So, like you said, we're going to be looking for that mock ball to super missiles coming up here as soon as they go down this elevator.
And they're all picking up that E-tank. All the items they're going to pick up are either absolutely necessary to obtain, or they just happen to be on the path and they're going to be helpful for completing the run. The runners are either going to get 21 or 22% of the items.
Yeah, Super Metroid is such a refined game to this point that, you know, you could grab extra missiles just for safety, but at the same time, the trade-off is the item fanfare. You have to sit through a couple seconds every time you pick up an item. So these guys have it to the point where they're getting only the things they need to beat the game, even if it means that at the very end of the run, they're short.
And Zos is through with his mock ball. He picks up some super missiles.
Ivan shortly thereafter following.
Garrison's in there as well, and so is Krauser. Everybody keeping a pretty good pace here. This is what we expected, folks.
All right, and again, the thing to note about Super Metroid that I think is most impressive is ammo management. So one thing to look for as you're watching this run is just look at the missile and super missile counts of these guys, because that can be the big determining factor. If somebody's running low on ammo compared to someone else, they could lose time as a result of that. So
yeah, they may have to kill an extra enemy or two, which is going to waste a bit of time. And again, that's determined by luck. So there is a decent amount of luck in this run.
all right, so we have them picking up the charge beam here in just a minute.
They're going to be heading to the first boss, which is Kraid, going for the Kraid quick kill. It's a pretty cool trick.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about that before we get there too. So the thing to look for on Kraid, they're going to be trying to stun lock Kraid's mouth open to be able to get him in the early round there before he actually pops up and does his full animation. So you're going to look for them to stun lock him open there, get some missiles and supers in there.
Yep, it's just about precise positioning and getting the right missiles and super missiles to come out there.
Yeah, and these guys all very rehearsed on it, but that is the first potential big lead change point in the run.
Definitely. And it's just nice to enjoy the movement. You know, these players are so good, and you know, you go back and play the game, and you're like, how come I'm not moving like that?
Yeah, it's unreal to see how far the game's advanced, even while it seems so refined already. But they always find new strats there. Zo's getting grabbed there by a yappy mob, but he's through. A little bit of time lost there.
And you may notice some of these guys are running into enemies, but that's on purpose most of the time. They're using a technique called damage boosting, in which they just have to face in a certain direction, and it allows them to get a nice little boost off an enemy.
Zos with a very nice triple shot there on super missiles to clear the gap without losing his speed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you had mentioned, damage boosting is going to be used all over the run to move through rooms more effectively.
Yeah, you have to be careful, though, because you do have to manage your health. You know, that's something that's pretty important, and these guys are not going to be getting a lot of health either. They're only getting 3 E-tanks during the entire run. All right, here comes Kraid.
So again, before we get to Kraid here, and notice this kill, just again, look at the ammo counts quick. You can see we already have some variability. And that might not make such a big deal right now, but it could have implications later on. So here we go with the Kraid kill.
So this has got it. Garrison right after
Ivan's
that.
got it as well. And I'm not sure, but I believe that might be the first time that we've had synchronized Kraid quick kills live anywhere in the world at the same time. Great job, guys.
Amazing stuff so far. Really close race. All these guys getting to the Varia suit right around the 10-minute mark. Just what we expected. Excellent stuff.
Ivan using a nice technique there, the pseudo shine there to kill. Doesn't have to use a missile.
Now you're going to notice they're going to skip the E-tank down here, and that's to save time, you know, because this runs measured in real time, not in game time. So they want to skip door transitions because those take a long time.
Yeah, and again, that's a very recent route change as far as Super Metroid is concerned. People used to get that E-tank. It's right there. It doesn't seem like it's a lot of time, but there's actually an energy tank later on in the run in Meridia that doesn't have door transitions around it. So those tiny little optimizations are what make this game what it is.
Indeed. All right, why don't we see what's going on with saving and killing the animals. Let's head over to Spike Vegeta.
Yeah, right now it looks like Kill has actually opened up a little bit of a lead. Kill is at $32,744. Save is at $30,869, so nearly a 2K deficit at this point.
So once again, we'll remind you to get your donations in, whether you'd like to kill or save the animals at the end of the run. Obviously, killing the animals, the speedrunner's friend, because that means a shorter run for them. But if you're a fan of saving the animals, you still have plenty of time to make it happen as well.
We're going to cut that off as the first runner gets to Mother Brain 1, just so everybody knows. You got to get your donation in by that time. That's when the cutoff is.
Yeah, so a little less than, I guess about half an hour, actually, to get those donations in for whichever side you prefer.
Looks that way.
And the reason we're actually kind of taking a little bit of a sidetrack here to talk about that is that this part of the game is mostly item acquisition. So again, we're looking at movement, minor details like a nice mock ball there from Zost. We'll be able to make up time or lose time depending on how they move. But this next few minutes here, just all about getting items.
Definitely, and they're going to get one of the more important items in the game, which is the Speed Booster. The Speed Booster is, you know, it's got a pretty obvious name, Speed, so Speedrunner, yeah, that's your friend, definitely. But it allows you to do some things that you can't otherwise do, which is basically to fly across the screen at the cost of your health. So that's something called Shine Sparking that you're going to see the runners do a ton throughout the course of the run.
A nice damage boost there.
Very nice.
That's cutesy. And Bubble Mountain,
yes,
the area we just traversed there.
Everybody
very
has
tricky.
Cleared Bubble Mountain, thank goodness. No casualties there.
Now the next thing to note here as they're on their way to Speed Booster is on their way back they'll have an opportunity to item up. They can stop and pick up missiles, super missiles, and health. We'll see how many rounds they wait depending on what they're sitting at right now. For instance, Zoe sitting on 1 missile and 2 supers, Garrison on 8 missiles and 1 super. So there's a bit of a difference there. We'll see what kind of drops they get and how long they stick around before they continue along.
Yep, the drop luck is important, and it's, you know, it's runner's personal preference. There's no set way to do this. You kind of got to just decide, hey, I'm going to go now.
Yeah, it's basically an equivalent to taking a pit stop in an auto race, right? So it's however much they need to get through the run. Looks like Ivan and Zost very comfortable with what they had. Krauser through as well.
They're going to head over and get wave beam. There's several different beam upgrades that you're going to see throughout the course of the run, and basically they, you know, allow you to do more damage. The wave beam can shoot through some of those barriers like the one they just passed, and also allow for beam combos with the power bomb, which is an item they're going to pick up a little later on.
Yeah, and those beam combos very important, as we'll be sure to mention as we get to them again here. But for now, everybody actually screen for a second there. Everybody in the wave beam room, keeping it nice and close for us.
Absolutely. Now the next boss that's coming up in a little while here, Fantoon, is a very, very random boss, so we could see some shifts in how close the runners are at that point. But for right now, as Golden said, this is incredibly close.
Yeah, and like I said, it's little details there, and you notice that everybody in the room kind of notices too. You hear like a little bit of a wince every time there's a small movement mistake. It's not a huge deal at this point, but those seconds can add up, especially when Fantoon's luck comes into play here.
Well, absolutely.
In just a few minutes.
I mean, that's why they do the arm pumping, because, you know, over the course of the run, something small like that, saving a pixel at a time, is going to, you know, add up to like 10 seconds.
Yeah, and actually a good route thing to note here is that a lot of players would get Ice Beam at this point, but you'll notice that Zost passing it up. Everybody's going to be passing it up here as the routes changed in recent months and recent years. No one's going to be getting Ice Beam early. They'll be going to Fantoon without it, and they'll be using a beam combo, like you'd mentioned, in coordination with the power bombs to use an X Factor attack, as we call it, on Fantoon.
Now the runners are coming up to a difficult room here, the Red Tower. This is normally why you would pick up the Ice Beam in the first place. There's some enemies that you would freeze to traverse the tower, but they're going to skip that altogether and do something really, really cool.
Yeah, this is a tough shot to get to, so we might see some people fumble it here. We'll see how it happens.
Here we go.
Oh, stop, no problem. Wow. Ivan's through as well. Krauser getting it cleanly as well. All four of them. Very nice. That is not an easy jump to do either. They made it look easy, but that can be a big time waste if they don't get it.
All right, there's power bombs. Now we're going to get to see our first Shine Spark of the run. A nice little trick we call Ocean Fly. One of the coolest tricks in the game.
Yeah, and what that's going to allow them to do is move smoothly across a couple of screens here. They're going to lose a lot of health in the process, but if they get it, they're going to save about 7 or 8 seconds, so we'll see how that goes. The thing to look for here is when they cross the moat, first of all, do they grab the missiles? If they do, that means they're going for a little bit more of a safety strategy in this run. They're going to get extra missiles at the expense of time. The second thing to note is if the door opens. If the door opens and they go through, then they've got Ocean Fly. If they hit the door, that means they either mistimed it or aren't going for it, but they should be going for it here.
And it's an incredibly precise trick. One of the more difficult tricks.
So Zost over and through. Ivan hits the door. Krauser hitting the door as well. Not that big of a deal if they do hit the door. It just means they have to Shine Spark again in the next room. It's a few seconds lost. But Garrison's going to opt to get the missiles whether he wants to or not. It looks like maybe he didn't quite have the height he wanted.
All right, Zost coming up on Fantoon, a really, really random boss. All the runners are going to try to kill Fantoon in a couple rounds, and there's basically 3 different patterns. It's, you know, slow, medium, and fast is the best way to describe it. This is the
biggest random element as far as bosses are concerned in the game. This can easily, if somebody gets a fast pattern, put them back into the race. If they're in the lead, they can get a slow pattern and put them right back behind everybody. So we'll see what happens here.
Good luck to all 4 runners.
Now, we call it the X Factor because we're looking to see that X connect with Fantoon. So when you see those beams come in, let's look for that X. Zost with a fast pattern right off the bat. Ivan got a fast pattern as well. He connects. Another fast pattern for Krauser.
Unbelievable.
All right, in the second phase here, no fast patterns yet for anybody. Looks like a little bit longer pattern.
So this is having a little bit of an issue with health.
Gotta watch it very low, very low. So Zos is gonna live, but he's probably gonna get health bombed here just because of his energy. He's so low. That means no missiles, no super missiles, no power bombs are gonna drop for him. He's just getting health out of this, and he's gonna have to work with it. So he's got a low ammo count, but he is still alive. That's the most important thing.
And while Zos is in the lead, he is going to have to take some time to kill extra enemies, so that could eat into his lead a little bit.
Yeah, and meanwhile, if you look at the other ammo counts, Ivan's sitting pretty with his energy there. That's a very good number. He's got good missiles, decent super missiles to boot. His power bomb count's good. Krauser also has good ammo counts. Garrison wraps up Canteen. And I think Garrison's actually in a decent enough shape here. He should get a decent drop set. Yeah, he's got a nice mix there.
Looking good. Now this room at the top here is called Attic, and it's got some really cool strategies, so it'll be interesting to see all the runners go through this next room at the very top.
Yeah, the thing about the Attic is they need to clear all the enemies in order to advance. So let's see how they approach it. Nice technique from Ivan there.
Just another thing to keep in mind, you know, when you're using that speed booster and you start turning blue, you are invincible and you will kill any enemies in your path.
All right, so the next thing after the Attic here is the bowling Shine Spark. We'll see if any of them go for it. Again, it's a thing that costs a lot of health, but it's also a little bit of a tricky tap, too. They need to have good timing. Yep. And Ivan there, first one to bowling. Let's go to Spike with an update on kill and save.
Yeah, it actually looks like Save has cut into the lead by about $500.
All right, so we've got about 20 minutes left for you guys to decide if you want to kill or save the animals. So once again, your donations can go towards killing or saving the animals in this game. And we will cut that off at the start of Mother Brain 1, so keep that in mind.
Did we have any donations? This cutscene is a little long. We could probably squeeze one in if you got a good one.
Yeah, we got $125 from Manuel Agulo. This is my third AGDQ I've seen, and I love every minute of it. I've been in the Navy for 7 years, and tomorrow is my last day. Glad to spend the whole week watching this. While most of you may not have served your country, you have definitely helped save lives that otherwise might have been lost. Keep it up and don't stop. Also, sacrifices have to be made, so lose some frames, save the animals.
Great mock ball across the lake there by Ivan.
I was just about to point that out. A good thing to come back to there. He's got nice technique over the moat again. And now this is going to be an opportunity for us to see how they feel about their ammo counts. They might go out of their way on the way back to Meridia to kill a couple extra enemies and stock up, especially if their power bomb count is low, because power bombs are so important in Meridia, and actually from this point on.
Yeah, Meridia is a very difficult area. You're going to have to fight 2 bosses in short succession, which you need a lot of ammo for. And there's a really tricky Shine Spark in that area as well. So these guys are getting ready for that.
All right, so it looks like at the moment we've got Ivan and Zost kind of headlining. Krauser a little bit behind. Garrison has room to work with still, a little bit behind everybody else, but there's plenty of opportunities, especially with this gauntlet. I guess the next 10 or 15 minutes, a lot of boss fights, a lot of things can shift.
Yep. And a misused super there. The ammo count's becoming just paramount in importance right now.
Yeah, you can even see it if you just look at Ivan versus Zost right now at the moment. Ivan's ammo count, he's sitting at a total of 30 different, if you add them all up, 30 ammo. If you look at Zost, he's sitting at 10 and no missiles. So it's quite a drastic difference between them.
And most of the players look to be good on health. Garrison's a bit low, but he'll have a few opportunities probably to pick some up. There is a Shine Spark coming up, so they're going to lose some health, but then there's the E-Tank to follow that, so they'll be back to full.
And now with the boss that's coming up here, Botswoon, the thing that we're going to be looking for is the timing. Can they connect with an X Factor as Botswoon pops out to start the fight? If they do, it's just a few super missiles to get the quick 1 cycle. If they don't, they could be sitting there a couple cycles. And I guess keeping in mind with what you had said, the one thing to watch right now is probably Garrison's health count at the moment. He needs to be very careful. He's barely going to have enough energy to get that Shine Spark. He's got to be very careful on Batoon.
And Ivan with the 1 round. Very nice.
Zost also connects with the X.
Looks like he's got a good pattern here.
Almost had the 1 cycle, but not
He
enough
was
supers.
That short, being short on ammo, that's came back to him a little bit. Krauser, great job there.
And there we go. That's the ammo management for you there. Krauser with a little bit better ammo at that point was able to make up some time on Batoon as a result. Now coming up, we have a trick called the full halfie. Look at Ivan, see if he goes across this room with that Shine Spark. Ivan gets the full
nailed
The full halfie named because it clears the whole room. The original trick was called the halfie, only cleared half the room, but just a tiny squeeze there gets Ivan through with just enough frames. Krauser getting it as well.
Yes. Ivan is the first to Dragon.
Collides there in the center.
And Ivan is the first to Dragon. There's a 50-50 chance of getting good luck against Dragon. They're going to use a combination of Shine Sparks and Beam combos in order to take out this boss and hopefully end with a blue suit, which would allow them to save a charged Shine Spark to use to get back across the room, which they used to get across the full happy.
Yep, looking to see if the Shine Sparks go directly through Dragon's neck. That's going to get the most damage there. Looks like Ivan does it a couple of times. Should be able to finish this off. Not quite enough damage there.
Just under.
And his ammo count really low at the moment.
And
Does
there
get
it
it
is.
there.
So he's not going to have blue suit. That could give some other players a chance to catch up a bit.
And Garrison gets the full happy. Zost has blue suit.
We got a blue suit.
So the thing to know, that, as Sinister had mentioned, blue suit's going to allow him to basically save a Shine Spark. He's going to be able to use that to escape from this fight. And that's going to give him a little bit of an advantage time-wise leaving Dragon.
Right, because he didn't get the full happy, but he's going to get the reverse full happy, so that will pick him up some time. Let's see how Garrison does trying to finish off Dragon here. Nice Shine Spark to start off. Did not get the good luck.
All right, and for those of you wondering what blue suit's used for here, look at Zost's screen in just a second. Saved that Shine Spark, and he's able to get out of there no problem.
And he's right back in the mix.
All right, now coming up, we have another difficult Shine Spark players might choose to go for here, the Plasma Spark.
Garrison also with the blue suit. Now his health is a bit low, so this will be interesting. He may have to forego using his blue suit, depending on the drop luck he gets here. What do you think?
You know, at the moment, I'm kind of looking at these Shine Sparks here as they go to Plasma. It's a very difficult trick. Expecting it in one RTA is very difficult.
Well, probably the most difficult Shine Spark in the game, I would say.
The window for it is almost impossible, but these guys still going for it, trying to go for everything they can. As we see Krauser climbing the Cassius room there. And there's actually a new grouping strategy in the Plasma room as far as new tech in the game goes here. They're going to try to group these guys and get out of here as quickly as possible. So again, this is a good point to look at their energy, look at their ammo counts as they head into Norfair. You know, there's not really an opportunity for them to stock up beyond the Plasma Beam room here. What they've got is kind of what they're going to be going with.
Yep.
For the next few minutes. And the thing that strikes me immediately is Garrison's health count. So we'll look to see what he gets from the Plasma Beam room. And you see he maybe hesitating a little bit there to stock up just a little bit more.
Lower Norfair, an especially unforgiving section of the game, as Garrison goes for Plasma Spark, and it's
very close.
So close.
That is a tough trick.
You got to give him credit, though, man. He went for it even with the low health count. Nothing but hype.
All right, so I think this would be another opportunity if you want to update us on Kill and Save. Spike Vegeta, take it away.
Yeah, apparently Kill did not appreciate the $500 cut into its lead, so it came back with a $1,000 bump. So it's just over 34,000 to Save's 31K.5. So $65.5 thousand.
This is always one of the biggest incentives that we've ever have at these GDQs, and we appreciate everybody's donations one way or the other on it. And again, you guys have about 10 minutes to get those donations in. So if you really feel passionate one way or the other on Kill or Save, it's got to happen soon.
And these guys didn't forget about Ice Beam. They are picking it up, but like we said, they're getting it on the way back because that is a bit faster.
Yep, and so the thing to look for here with the Ice Beam is that they'll have an opportunity to escape the Ice Beam room. Again, they have to get underneath those closing gates. And if they don't do it, there's an alternate route they can take, which will cost them a few seconds.
That mock ball comes in handy a lot of places as we see Ivan get through.
It looks like Zeus should have it as well.
Zeus is going to clear it. No sweat. And Krauser's out as well. So they're all going to head down to Lower Norfair, which has the final boss before they head to the last area, Turian. They're going to have to fight Ridley. They're going to have to pull off one more tricky Shine Spark, which is something we call Fast Pillars. You'll see why in a minute.
It's a pretty self-explanatory name once we get there. I like this damage boost you're about to see. I think Ivan's going to go for it.
Shout-outs to Chronic.
Very cute damage boost into the lava pit thing. It doesn't quite get in there, but...
Looks like Zeus got it. That's going to catch him up a little bit.
There goes Zeus. He's flying through the pit. Samus just likes to get pushed around sometimes, I guess. There's Krauser going. All right, and so like you mentioned, we're looking for fast pillars here. They're going to look to Shine Spark straight through these pillars. Ivan's the first one there.
Zeus right behind him.
I just have to point this out again. We talked about room names. Ivan is currently in the worst room in the game. That is the name.
So true. So true.
You'll get a few chances to see it, though. Krauser clears.
Yeah, these guys are making it look easy with these Shine Sparks right now, but it's actually pretty difficult because they have to charge up the Shine Spark in a shorter area than was intended. And they actually do that by tapping the run button in a specific pattern on certain frames of Samus's run animation. Pretty tricky stuff. It's
a very rhythmic thing to do, and the more taps you need, the harder it is, and that's one of those that needs several taps. So all of them making it look so easy, though. The thing, again, to note is the health as they approach Ridley, because Ridley is a tricky boss in the sense that you actually can kill Ridley before he's dead, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is that Ridley can pick you up, ending the fight prematurely, if you know the amount of health that you've dealt damage, or the amount of damage that you've dealt, basically. So these guys are looking for a specific amount of hits on Ridley, and then hoping Ridley will pick them up.
And they're going to pick up a nice amount of drops here on these space pirates.
So Zeus having a little bit of trouble there grouping those pirates, but he gets it.
Ivan maintaining a small lead, but this is really, really close.
Ivan has to be extremely careful on this fight.
Now, what you don't want to see with Ridley is a lot of pogoing.
Yeah, we're looking for Ridley to stay in the air as much as possible. The pogo pattern is annoying to deal with. So these guys are going to jump as much as possible to keep Ridley in those aerial patterns.
And they're going to actually look for Ridley's sprite to have a minor color change, and then they're going to know that they can just count off a certain number of hits before Ridley is dead before he's dead.
Yep, Ridley turns red, count to 9, and ball up and hope he grabs you. The alternative to that is to continue attacking until he explodes, but that is much more of the combat. Ivan's through no problem, has plenty of health, should be able to leave without picking up that energy tank. There is an energy tank there if they really wanted to grab it, but none of these players should have to take it.
Nope. And you do need some power bombs as you're leaving this area here. Zost has all 5. Ivan
Has enough. I think he should be okay.
But he looks to be okay as well, as Krauser deals with Ridley.
Yeah, as you had mentioned, power bomb count is very important right now on their way out. They need to have 3 or more would be the ideal amount. The super missile count is also important because as we approach the end of the game, super missiles and missiles are all that matter. You need to have enough super missiles and missiles to complete the game.
And unfortunately, Super Metroid is such a brutal game that there is a chance if you go in with low ammo that you may not be able to continue because you do need to get those drops.
That is an example of what Super Metroid is. It's a brutal, brutal game.
It absolutely
So many
is.
places that even the best players can fall, and Garrison falling there
Yeah,
just
I mean,
before Ridley.
you know, there's a big Super Metroid race every week, and invariably that happens to somebody.
Yeah,
so
it
this is
is
not uncommon.
the game with, I think, the highest quit rate. I mean, on any given night, 50% of players are quitting, so it is a brutal game.
Definitely.
And you have to give them credit for going for it.
Absolutely.
So, unfortunately, Garrison out, but the other 3 players on their way out, back to the ship.
Oh, wow.
I'm very low. He needs to be careful here.
Oh,
and the juke. Wow.
very clutch. And now you can see Zost and Ivan screen for screen here right now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Zost able to capitalize on that. Ivan has to be very careful still. 17 energy is not a lot.
It's not a lot. These guys are in a dead heat right
Does
now.
pick up an energy drop there, so he should be comfortable at this point. But man, that was really close for a while.
And Krauser is right behind. This is anybody's game right now.
So again, if we look at everybody's super counts, they're all sitting on 10, which is just wonderful.
Yes.
As they enter Torian, they're sitting right where they want to be with supers. And like we had mentioned before, they need enough missiles and super missiles to be able to defeat Mother Brain Phase 1, because once they commit to going into that fight, there's no going back. So the thing to note as they go in through Torian and as they're killing these Metroids, watch their missile count, watch their super missile count. If that super missile count starts to go low, then they might have to slow down and make sure they get supers from the Metroids.
Now there is a pretty big trick in Turian as well. These guys are going to actually try to skip the big Metroid, another new development in the game. Very, very difficult trick to pull off, and very important because of how much time you save or lose, whether you get it or not.
Yeah, so the big Metroid, if it grabs you, it's going to take away all of your health, force you to go to the healing room that's right afterwards, get all your energy back. But these guys are going to actually try to manipulate the Metroid and get around it. And doing so is going to save them a lot of time. It's going to actually give an opportunity for Ivan or Zost to kind of secure a lead if one of them gets it and the other does not. Krauser a little bit behind, but still anything could happen.
Yep, he's still in it. As you've said before, Turian is the ultimate equalizer.
It is, and these
Anything
guys
can
play
happen.
Torian so fast that they're going to potentially make their own mistakes out of it just because of how quick they like to move through these rooms. It is not an easy section of the game at all. So again, as we approach Turian here, it's a good opportunity for another check on kill to save because we only have just a few minutes left before we're going to cut that off and decide the fate.
Yeah, right now not looking good for the critters. We've got kill at $34,590.64 and save at $32,059.65. So, yeah, 66.6K.
All right, so just a few minutes left to see what happens there. Again, thanks everybody who's been donating for that, for the Killer Save donation incentive. And these guys checking in at the Gold 4, as we call it.
Yep.
That
And-
final checkpoint before Torian.
And just to note, Ivan does not have a power bomb. Now, normally that wouldn't be too important because you don't really use any power bombs in Turian. However, the way the item switching works in this game, every player kind of does their item switching differently. Some of them item cancel, and some of them actually switch through all the weapons. So Ivan does prefer to have a power bomb in this situation.
Right, so every time they tap the item button, they're going to swap to the next thing in their inventory. The catch is, if you don't have any ammo in one of those categories, it skips over it. So Ivan might be used to tapping 1, 2, 3, 4 to turn them off. Go with missiles, super missiles, power bombs, and then off. But because of the situation he's at now with 0 power bombs, it's going to go missiles, super missiles, off. Missiles, super missiles, off. So he's got to adjust to that. It might trip him up a little bit. I'm sure he's used to it, but it could be just tiny things like that that could make the difference in Torian. It's such a fast section of the game.
Yep, these guys are going to try to truck through here as fast as possible, killing these Metroids, and it is one of the hardest sections of the game, no question.
It's all about movement from this point forward. Zos with a really solid first room.
I've been hanging tough.
Zos actually got grabbed there. He's able to get out. And getting grabbed, again, that's a time loss. You have to keep that in mind here. That's going to make a difference.
Yep, and super counts are looking good, thankfully. Looks like our first 2 runners are going to get through with the correct ammo counts.
Yeah, they should be able to group these final 3 Metroids just fine.
Zost is through.
And both of them sitting on enough ammo to be able to complete the game, no problem now. The big
enough.
Metroid skip coming up here.
Here it comes.
This trick very, very difficult. You have to have precise movement and several consecutive jumps around the Metroid. Zost and Ivan getting grabbed. Krauser has
Now
a chance
Krauser
to get
can
back
come
into
back.
this.
This is why we said it's not over till it's over, folks.
So you'll notice because they got grabbed, they have to go back and get their health back. That's something Krauser might not have to do if he gets this. Oh, he's got one section in the way. He's up and over. Krauser back in the race as a result of that. Still a few screens behind, but not that far in consideration. He made up a lot of time there.
A ton of time.
The final skip of the game here, the Zebetite skip as they clip through.
And we are going to check in with Spike one more time because we are going to cut off the save versus kill bidding war. So what do we got, Spike?
Ladies and gentlemen, let them die.
All right, now it's not over just yet because Mother Brain 1 has a weird way of ending runs sometimes. You need to watch out. These guys cannot afford a hit from what we call the catch-up, the red beam. It's going to kill them if they get hit by it, so they need to watch out for that.
You need a certain amount of energy to absorb Mother Brain's rainbow beam. All these guys have it right now, but as Golden alluded to, if you get hit by that catch-up, you're not going to have it anymore.
Zost intentionally taking a hit there to dodge that catch-up and get some more shots in.
Nice job.
Very
And
nice.
He's got Mother Brain 2 down. So does Ivan.
Ivan's completed it as well.
This is unbelievable.
Krauser dodging that catch-up very, very close. But he's going to live as well.
Now, it's amazing because there's actually some luck involved here that could have a big factoring into this race. There's actually a cutscene that's going to happen, and you can either get good luck or bad luck in the cutscene. And with how close Ivan and Zost are right now, that might be the difference. Who gets the good cutscene luck?
Yeah, it couldn't have asked for a better ending here. This is something else. Krauser making a nice comeback. Zost and Ivan screen for screen at the moment. It's going to come down to the escape here. Who has a good Mother Brain 3?
Yeah, Mother
Who
Brain
has the
3
fundamentals
can still
on the
be a little
escape?
tricky. Now, as these guys are getting their health refilled here, what they're going to be looking to do in the final phase is they're going to want to get as close as they can to Mother Brain and just keep jamming her with shots.
Yep, standing in the back corner actually creates lag, so they're going to want to get as close to Mother Brain as they can for these final shots and look for them to develop a rhythm on these shots. They're going to try to get 3 or 4 of them off of each jump.
Per jump, yep.
I also want to emphasize, while we have the chance, this room is packed. The doorway is completely blocked. People are trying to get in and watch the final moments. It's unreal.
The entirety of AGDQ is in this room right
Yeah.
now.
Could not have asked for a more exciting race, and it's all coming down to these final minutes. Zos and Ivan almost screen for screen on that kill. Look to see the head. Whose head hits the ground first, that's the player in the lead. Ivan has a slight lead.
Less than half a second lead.
And Krauser only a few seconds behind that.
And it comes down to the escape. And there's some funny things that can happen during the escape.
Ivan maintains the lead.
Just barely.
Different approaches to this room from these guys.
Zos falls behind.
All right, killing enemies to clear out some of the lag there as they fall.
And again, here's where that movement is ever so important.
Just a shine spark away. Ivan gets the shine spark up the climb. Zos right behind him. This is down to fundamentals at this point.
Yes, it is. Ledge grabbing. He's got it.
Ivan up the parlor, gets steamed. He's got to watch out.
Looks like
As long as he does not get hit by steam, he should have this. He gets
hit. But so does
Zos
Zos.
gets hit as well. And Ivan wins it. Wow. You could not have scripted a better ending to
Could
that.
not have. That is just, I mean,
A second or two was the
how could it
difference.
even be better? An unbelievable race.
And something that you might have missed. I just want to point out, all 3 of them finished in under 46 minutes. What an amazing race.
I think it's safe to say that that was the greatest race we have ever seen at a Games Done Quick.
Yeah, that is absolutely unreal to see it come down like that, screen for screen at the end. These guys are so excited right now around us. It's unreal. Thanks everybody for being a part of this, for being a part of the stream, for being a part of the crowd here live, and of course to the runners. Garrison unfortunately had that death, but that's the nature of Super Metroid. Any one of these guys could have had that happen to him, and they're aware of it going into it. So
this was one of the most hyped events, runs at this event, and I mean it went completely beyond expectations, just completely beyond.
Absolutely, the skill level just rising in this game. It's really cool to watch. If you want to be a part of Super Metroid, it's a great game to get into. and highly recommended it if you want to learn it. It is a lot of fun, and these guys have shown just how far they can take the game. It's really cool. So again, thanks everybody for watching the Super Metroid race at Awesome Games Done Quick 2014, but we're not done just yet. We've got the two most important words in Super Metroid coming up in just a minute. Get your capital letters ready and your lowercase letters ready.
And a couple spaces you got to throw in there.
Go beat. Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the two most important words in Super Metroid.
I didn't quite hear you.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, the two most important words in Super Metroid. Thank you guys so much for watching the Super Metroid race. And if you guys are watching on the stream, be sure to give these guys a follow. They're all incredible players
please
and
do.
awesome streamers.
Yeah, that's right. Give out the Twitch URL.
Yeah, Krauser318. Zost is actually Zosty with a Y on the end. And Ivan is Ivan.
Ivan is Ivan.
He was lucky enough to win a name change.
And Garrison, I know he's been shifting around on streams, but it should be Gary, G-A-R-I.
I think he actually wanted to go with the Garrison _
Okay,
TT.
we'll make sure we cover
as a
both of
matter
them. I know he's been
fact.
streaming to a couple of them, but Garrison _ TT is his main one. Give these guys a follow. They deserve it. And of course,
Absolutely.
as always,
It's been a pleasure.
it's been a blast. You guys need to follow Sinister1.
Yes,
Follow him on Twitch.
Follow Golden as well.
Twitch.tv/SinisterWON.
Yeah,
He's your Mike Tyson's Punch-Out champ and the best co-commentator I could ask for.
Same
It's
here.
been a lot of fun.
It's been tremendous, and I mean, people don't even want to leave the room right now.
No,
This room is still
this is
absolutely
unreal.
packed.
Usually, it's pack up your game when you're done and go, but we have a little bit of an extra special.
Yes, we do. There is
for you
still.
guys.
I mean, it was so hype. We forgot about Spore Spawn. How could we?
We have the Spore Spawn RTA. So for those of you that don't know, you might not know, because you didn't see Spore Spawn in the any % race, but indeed there is a boss in this game called Spore Spawn. And so there's a category dedicated to killing him.
He's going to actually take the same amount of ammo that is necessary to kill Kraid. So these guys are going to pick up a missile pack. They're going to pick up a super missile pack, and then they're going to head in there and hope that the spores don't get in the way as they try to load Spore Spawn up with all those missiles and supers.
Yep. So like Sinister mentioned, the first few minutes are going to be very similar to the any % route, and the reason that you didn't see Spore Spawn actually in the any % route or in the any % route was the result of getting those super missiles early with the mock ball. If that wasn't possible, then that would be the natural way to get super missiles, is to kill Spore Spawn.
Yeah, once people figured out mockballing, they said, well, we don't got to fight that guy anymore, so let's just not.
Wrote him out of the game, and he gets his moment in his own category here.
Yep, his moment in the sun. Never, I don't think he's ever been seen in a marathon. I'm pretty sure.
This might be a marathon debut for Spore
Yes.
Spawn. We'll see what he does
Yes, I
if he
think it
manages
is.
to mess with these guys. Maybe if he makes a big enough name for himself,
Maybe
we
he
might
can come
see
back.
him in the future. Yeah.
Well, hey,
It's his
people
moment
wanted to
to
see him.
impress.
People paid to see him, so here we are. So once again, movement is going to be the key here.
And though it is a slightly, obviously a lot shorter category, who better to pick your screen for screen than Zost and Ivan for this race?
No kidding. All right, so they get to take another crack at the climb here. Zost is up first.
Those wall kicks so precise. If you press up or down on your control pad, you're falling down.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
to have smooth movement from the left to the right on the D-pad there, and time
notice-
those wall jumps.
And they're shooting as they ascend to kill the pirates that are in the way. Just fantastic movement by both players.
So this is a good opportunity for you to actually see some of those same things we taught you in any % come into play here. So again, off the bomb torso, we're looking to see how many missiles drop from that first set of attacks.
And what else would you expect but they're neck and neck yet again?
So this is very much so a thing that RNG could mess with. We'll see how many missiles each one of them gets. In a category as short as this, that's probably enough to make a difference.
Pretty important, but Spore Spawn himself is going to have some RNG involved, so things could balance out.
So it looks like Ivan does get enough missiles, but triggers the second phase there of the boss. And so they had cleared about the same time.
Still close. Almost dead even again.
I think we've seen this before. Screen for screen.
And the Alcatraz escape. Not the intended way you're supposed to get out of that room there. They want you to use the bombs, but hey, we don't need to do that. That wastes like 10 seconds.
A very precise set of wall jumps needed to get out of Alcatraz, as Spim would tell you.
No need to get the E-Tank this time. Spore Spawn is not going to deal a whole lot of damage to you.
And here's another little differentiation from any percent. They're actually going to missile these guys.
Yep, the ammo management is going to vary just a touch. Once again, they're going to have to get that mock ball so they can get the early supers.
So Zost, the first one to touch down here. Just a slight lead, not much at all.
And you can see they're both farming those first couple guys. They do want to recover the ammo because they need to open that red door, which requires 5 missiles. And even though Ivan missed that first mock ball, notice how he just made it up and did another really quick one.
He had barely any room to make that happen, but he did.
He made it happen. There's supers. All right, here we go. Spore Spawn is not far away.
It's not often that you get a trick named after yourself because you can't do it, but this is the golden mock ball that they just did there. Just want to point that out. Hopefully, if you get a trick named after you, it's because you do it correctly, but not for me.
And they had to do a little tricky movement there to kill that guy and hopefully get a drop. I saw one of them get a missile.
Nice wall kicking there from Zost as he's moving up into the hallway before Spore Spawn.
Here comes Spore Spawn, and again, what you're going to want to look out for is the little spores. Are they eating his missiles and super missiles, or is he getting them through? Same for Ivan, who's right behind him.
It's all. It all comes down to this.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the race is actually over when they grab the super missiles after Spore Spawn. So there is a little bit of platforming afterwards.
Just a touch. And Zost gets, look like 2 supers in there. So he's going to need 1 more super and a missile in this next round. Ivan as well, getting 2 supers. So it looks like they can both get a 2-rounder here, as long as the spores cooperate.
Good position there for
Nice
Zost.
job by Zost. And he's going to have to go ahead and grab the supers now. Ivan does it as well.
And it looks like Zost is going to be able to take this.
Unless something crazy happens. I think he's
Nice
got
little damage boost there.
Long drop.
And a
And Zost takes it.
631. 631 for Zost. Ivan right behind with the 636. So that wraps up the Super Metroid block here at AGDQ 2014. Again, once again, thanks to everybody who participated, watched, brought the hype. It was absolutely amazing. I hope we get to do something like this again in the future.
I really do. This was actually the first 4-player race since the original AGDQ, and I couldn't be happier with the outcome. I'm sure the runners feel the same way.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable stuff.
Really cool to be able to see that there is a community for a game, because so often you see one person and you associate that one person with the game, but Super Metroid is a game that is loved by so many and played by so many, so it's awesome to see a variety of different players and play styles.
I have a feeling that community might grow as
in the entire world here to race Super Metroid for you. Now, real quick, I'm going to read through a few donations as they're setting up. We have a $134 donation from FamilyPCGames.com. Thanks to faith, prayer, and medical care, our Prayer Warriors developer overcame the clutches of colon cancer. FamilyPCGames.com is donating $134 to this awesome charity. Keep up the good work, guys. I've got a $25 donation from Rook the Hammer. I'm amazed by everyone's generosity, and even though this is my third donation, I do wish I could donate more. I mean, you've raised over $50,000 just getting people to decide the fate of the animals, and here's another $25 to saving them. I've got a $50 donation from Neon Reaper. Save the animals so some other animals can eat them. It's the circle of life, and it moves us all. Thank you, Neon. I've got a $50 donation from Hematap Ophelia. Greetings from Quebec, Canada. We Quebecers live in a hostile environment. Polar bears, wolves, cougars, lynxes, you name it. It is therefore a necessity to remind the quadrupeds who's boss here on Earth. Make the right choice. Kill the animals. Also, cancer is bad.
Super Mario hand cam has been met. All right. What do you want to change your reader's choice to?
Change it to kill the
Kill. Everyone's going for kill.
This is unbelievable how much extra space we have in the stream room this year, and it is standing room only. This is truly an exciting moment. People are sitting in laps out here. What are we doing? Another reason to get super excited about this race is that for the first time we are trying some real, I guess you'd say professional commentary. We'll have the man with the golden voice, golden, oddly enough, and the blind punch-out man himself, Sinister One, ready to give you some of the best commentary you've ever heard. I hope. I'm building you up. You better pull it off for me. We'll see. The pressure's on. It's been a long week, guys. We are all very sleep deprived, but I see no sleep deprived people in here. I see a bunch of excited faces. Twig's happy. Twig's down. Look at that smile. That's the face of AGDQ right now. Oh, water. Thank you so much, Hannah. All right. I also want to first inform you guys that due to there being 4 runners in the race and Golden and Sinister One doing all they can to give you the greatest commentary, I unfortunately will not be able to read your donations as much as I would love to. You guys are really sending in so many, and so many of them are so heartfelt about obviously in whatever way your life has been touched by cancer. And just saying really, really nice things about the runners. I think we can all very much thank you for that. I will be giving you updates on Save Kill the Animals, because I'm sure that's very important to all of you, judging by the fact that you've raised nearly $60,000 for it. Again, we thank you for that. Other than that, I hope you all can just sit back and enjoy what you're about to witness. You know, I wondered going into AGDQ this year if 100K for Save/Kill the Animals was a thing. And we're coming up on 60,000 and the run hasn't started yet. Just saying. As of right now, though, despite $59,257 donated, the deficit is only $79, Kill in the lead by. You can sit next to me. I thought it was charming. All right, we're almost done setting up. I've got 2 donations I really want to get through real quick. I have a $500 donation from Carl Mee. Hey everyone, glad to be watching speedrunning put. Yeah. Hey, did someone score? All right. Hey everyone, glad to be watching speedrunning put to such a noble cause. Metroid 2 was my claim to fame, and it's awesome to see so many amazing players doing the impossible live in front of thousands of people. Huge shout outs to Metroid 2002 for having such an awesome community, SDA for making this possible, and an extra shout out to everyone on IGN watching this right now. By the way, Save the Animals. For having all 5 2D Metroid games subbed-houred, there's $500 towards the cause. Just as Red Scarlet once told me, go, 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 Carl.
I think you could mention something to the guys watching.
Just a
Oh, sure. Give special thanks to like Kotaku, Joystick, and Peanut Butter Gamer because they've all.
Also want to give a quick shout out to Kotaku, the Joystick, and Peanut Butter Gamer on mentioning the marathon. Want to thank all of you for networking us and for getting the word out there, for making AGDQ 2014 global at this point. It's really been amazing watching this marathon grow every year, and without you guys, it's nowhere near this point, and we thank you for that.
Thanks.
I've got a $50 donation from Eyeball Kid. Shoutouts to Zost, Garrison, Krauser, Ivan, and all the other God gamers who've taken Super Metroid as far as it's come. As always, good luck on the Ghost, fellas. Dear Force! I've got a $50 donation from DSO. Practiced hard just to bring my Super Metroid 100% in-game time under an hour. What you guys do with this game is amazing. Give the animals a quick death. Shoutouts to my bro Shy Guy Express and the Speedruns Live races of this game. All right, well, whoa. One runner immediately at a disadvantage. If I get a little quieter just up here at the front, that's it. All right, once again, welcome everyone back to AGDQ 2014. Members, over 400 members of Speed Demos Archive and Speedruns Live have come together to bring you Awesome Games 2000, Awesome Games Done Quick 2014. We're here to raise money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. We're looking out to do just what they say they will, prevent cancer. We want to thank you guys so far for raising over $630,000, and we have saved some of the best for last. coming up, we have got a first in GDQ. Well, no, this is a second. I'm making stuff up. But this is going to be really good. Don't worry. We have got a 4-way race of 4 of the best Super Metroid runners, 4 of the best speedrunners